Locked in the Sun: How One Child's Spirit Changed an Entire Neighborhood. Our HOA president, Deborah Whitman, had locked my deaf daughter inside a metal cage, removed her hearing aids, and left her to suffer under the blazing sun, all because Lily's joyful singing violated neighborhood noise rules. Before you watch the full video, comment below where you're watching from and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories. When I found my little Lily, she was inside a metal dog crate baking under the scorching sun, her tiny hands reaching for me through the bars, her face red and streaked with tears. Her special hearing aids, her lifelines to the world, had been ripped from her ears and tossed carelessly on the ground. In that moment, I felt a rage I'd never known. I wanted to tear Deborah Whitman apart with my bare hands. "Mommy, help!" Lily cried. "The mean lady said I was too noisy. She put me in the timeout cage." My daughter, only 5 years old, had been born deaf. Her cochlear implants allowed her to hear the world, but sometimes, when excited, she struggled to control the volume of her voice. This morning, that joy had made her a target. It began when Lily was playing with her new toy piano in our backyard, singing and laughing as any child would. I was inside making lunch when a sharp knock rattled the front door. There stood Deborah, the iron-fisted president of the HOA at Crescent Grove Estates. No hello, no civility, just anger. "Your daughter's making that awful noise again," she snapped. "This is the 3rd time this week. We have strict rules about noise here." I took a steadying breath. We had moved to Crescent Grove just 2 months ago, hoping for a fresh start after my husband's death the year before. The nearby school had a stellar program for deaf children. But from the day we arrived, Deborah had made it clear we weren't welcome. "She's just playing," I said. "Children make noise. She can't always tell how loud she is because of her hearing loss." Deborah's eyes narrowed coldly. "Disability isn't an excuse to disturb the peace," she said. "My husband works from home. Her screeching is unacceptable." "She's singing," I said through gritted teeth. "Sounds like a dying cat," she snapped, thrusting a paper into my hand. "Official warning. Quiet her down, or face fines." Minutes later, my phone rang an emergency at work. As a customer service manager working remotely, I had to jump on a critical client call. I checked on Lily before logging into the meeting. She was safe in our fenced backyard, playing happily by her little piano. I could even see her from my office window. Or so I thought. 20 minutes into the call, I glanced outside. Lily was gone. My heart seized. I told myself she was probably behind the oak tree, gathering acorns like she loved to do. But the call dragged on for another 40 minutes. When it finally ended, I raced outside. The backyard was silent. Her piano sat abandoned. Her stuffed bunny was lying forgotten on the grass. "Lily," I called, my voice trembling. "Lily." A faint cry answered from behind the garden shed. What I found there will haunt me forever. My baby was locked inside a large metal dog crate under the ruthless sun. Her face was flushed and slick with sweat. Her cochlear implants had been ripped away, leaving her in terrifying silence. The door was secured with a heavy bicycle lock. I dropped to my knees, trying frantically to free her. The lock wouldn't budge. I sprinted to the garage for bolt cutters, my hands shaking so badly I could barely grip them. When I finally broke her free, Lily collapsed into my arms, trembling and gasping for air. Between sobs, she told me what happened. The angry lady came into our yard. She said my music was ugly. She said deaf people shouldn't sing. She took my ears off and put me in the timeout cage. My blood boiled. I carried Lily inside, cooled her down with water, and checked her for injuries. Her skin was dangerously hot. She was severely dehydrated. With Lily safe inside, I stormed next door and pounded on Deborah's door. Her husband, Robert, answered, looking baffled. "Where is she?" I demanded. "Who? Your wife?" "The woman who just locked my disabled daughter in a cage and left her to bake in the sun." Robert's face paled. Before he could respond, Deborah appeared behind him. Seeing me, she didn't flinch. No guilt. No remorse. "Your daughter was disturbing the neighborhood," Deborah said coldly. "I merely gave her a timeout. Since you clearly don't discipline her." Robert stared at her in horror. "Deborah, what did you do?" "Don't look at me like that, Robert," she hissed. "That child's been a nuisance from day one. Someone had to teach her consequences." I pulled out my phone. "You might want to know our security cameras caught everything." Deborah blanched. "You're lying." There's no camera. I turned the phone toward her, showing clear footage. Deborah entering our yard, tearing off Lily's cochlear implants as my daughter screamed, shoving her into the cage, locking it, and walking away smiling. The police arrived minutes later. Seeing Lily's condition and the footage, they immediately arrested Deborah for false imprisonment, child endangerment, and committing a hate crime against a person with a disability. As she was dragged to the police car, Deborah kept shouting about enforcing community rules. At the hospital, the doctors confirmed Lily had severe heat exhaustion. They told me quietly that if she had been left even an hour longer, she might have died. I sat beside her hospital bed, holding her tiny hand, weeping for everything we had almost lost. The story spread like wildfire. Neighbors I barely knew flooded the hospital with food, toys, and prayers. An elderly man named Mr. Kim told me. She threatened to find me when my husband's oxygen machine made noise. He was dying of lung cancer. Another woman, Maria Lopez, said, Deborah tried to ban my autistic son's therapy swing. More and more stories surfaced years of bullying. No one had dared stand up to her. Until now. The next day, Robert came to the hospital. Tears filled his eyes. I filed for divorce, he said. I had no idea who I married. I'm selling the house. You'll never see either of us again. He handed me an envelope to cover Lily's medical bills. When Lily came home, our neighbors had transformed the backyard. The spot where the cage once sat had been turned into a music garden with chimes, a waterproof keyboard, and vibration pads she could feel through her feet. A new state-of-the-art security system was installed. And at an emergency meeting, the HOA removed Deborah from her position. Maria was elected president and immediately enacted inclusive policies for disabled families. Healing wasn't immediate. Lily refused to go outside alone. She had nightmares. She flinched away from her beloved cochlear implants, now associated with trauma. We started therapy with a trauma specialist for deaf children. Slowly, Lily began to heal. And then, one afternoon, sitting at her new keyboard, she sang again. Softly, then louder, then joyfully. 6 months after that awful day, Deborah's trial began. I had to relive every moment on the stand. The jury took less than 90 minutes to convict her of all charges. The judge sentenced her to 7 years in prison and banned her from ever holding authority in a community again. For the first time, I saw fear in Deborah's eyes as she was led away. Today, Lily is 6 years old. She still carries scars, but she's singing louder than ever, leading Sunshine Acres' first inclusion festival. Children deaf, hearing, autistic all played together in a park alive with music, laughter, and love. Every house now displays a sign with the American Sign Language symbol for welcome. At bedtime, Lily once asked me, Mommy, do you think the mean lady can hear music in jail? I kissed her forehead. I don't know, baby. But I hope someday she learns to listen. Lily smiled, small hands signing. I hope she does. Everyone should hear music. And in that moment, I knew we were going to be okay. Because Deborah had tried to silence my daughter's voice and failed. Today, Lily's song echoes louder than ever, and a whole community learned to listen with their hearts.